What's up? How you doing? Here I am with my daughter Amanda,
Hi.
and we're going to talk about an album and an artist that I am a big fan of. I enjoy her music now and in the past and in the future also, because I've seen the future. Pat Benatar. Pat Benatar. So, back. So this particular album, when I got it, this is the tour I went to see her on. So it's Seven the Hard Way. The song "Sex as a Weapon" is on here. "Invincible" is on here, and
Many others.
yeah, many others. Produced by her husband, which is pretty common. Played guitar on this. The tour she was on when I went to see her, it was a great concert. I wasn't that close, but I wasn't that far back. I was kind of like in the middle section on the floor, and enjoyed the show. My friend, one of my friends that was with us, was telling me, "You got to see. She's got an awesome figure." You know, he was telling me awesome, you know, and all this. And then I saw her, and I said, "Yeah. But you can't tell." And he goes, "Yeah, you couldn't tell tonight. Everything was loose on her. She was wearing this it was like a nightgown thing. It was floating around." So anyway, got to see her live, and that was the first of two times that I saw her. And I remember that concert ended up turning a little bit violent. Not the concert itself, but we left. We bought T-shirts and everything, and there were four of us. And all of a sudden, I look, and there's only three of us. One of us disappeared, and I turned to the back, and the one that disappeared, I see him coming towards us, and he had a bit of a frantic look on his face. And I said, "What happened?" And what happened was, the three of us put our T-shirts on, the ones we bought at the concert, the Seven the Hard Way tour. But he was holding his, like, on his shoulder or something, and he got mugged. So the people that mugged him, they had a syringe, and they sliced his throat from one side to the other with the syringe. So he had this big cut on his throat. And back then it was, the AIDS thing was going on, and we were like, "Oh no, let's go to a pharmacy and get some rubbing alcohol," which at that point would have been too late anyway, because if that hypodermic needle was dirty with the AIDS virus or HIV or whatever, it would have been too late to take rubbing alcohol and put it across your neck and clean that cut. Too late. So this is like, what, 35 years later? And I want to say that the needle was clean, and he did not end up catching anything from that needle, including HIV/AIDS or any other kind of illness. We got lucky that night, but that's one thing that sticks out about that concert. Another thing that sticks out is initially we wanted to we had an extra ticket, and I said, I think my cousin, she's a fan of Pat Benatar. Let me call her up and see if she wants to go. So called her up. We didn't have cell phones back then. We used a landline, and she said, she goes, "I really want to go to that, but I can't. I'm working tonight." And I said, "Okay." So then we called another friend of mine, and we ended up going with him. Took him along. But I'm a big fan of Pat Benatar. "Hit Me With Your Best Shot," "Hell Is for Children," "Sex Is a Weapon," like I said, is on here. Tons of hits from her, tons of hits, and then kind of faded out. I mean, she still, I think, tours. I see her on interviews once in a while with her husband. But all these artists, in my opinion, the majority of them, if they're any good, they have about a 5-year window where they're making really good songs, and they're charting. And then after that, they still make albums, but they're not on the top 40 anymore. And she's an example like that, but pretty much everybody's like that. 5 years, do what you can. I mean, there's exceptions to that rule. Billy Joel is one, Elton John, U2. There are, bands and individuals, solo artists that go beyond the 5 years, but 5 years is generally what it is. So I saw her a second time, and I mentioned this in another video I made, Hampton Beach, New Hampshire.
Hampshire.
And we were walking by, there's like all these places you can go into, arcades and stuff like that. And there was a little poster up, and it said Pat Benatar tonight live. And we kind of looked at each other and we said, let's go see her. And this concert was really good, although she didn't do any of the hits. She had a blues album come out during that period of time, and she only did that album that night. So 10 songs, I think. She only did those 10 songs. But we had good seats. We were like 15 feet from her, and maybe the whole place had maybe 30 people in there, 40 people. Very small place. It's like a room. And it was almost like picnic tables. So we sat, me and my friend and these two girls sat at the same table. And the two girls that were there, every time Pat would finish a song, they would scream out, "All right, Pat!" all night long. I mean, for an hour, not all night long, but for about an hour, they kept doing "All right, Pat." So, like I've said before, now when I go to a concert, no matter who's singing, it could be Elton John, it could be, Billy Joel, it could be whoever it is, I will yell out "All right, Pat" once in a while. And people next to me who don't know me, they think I'm yelling at the band or something, like somebody in the band is called Pat. But I'm doing it as homage to the two girls that night that are probably somewhere on this planet as I speak and make this.
Or dead.
No, I think, they were young. They could be dead. It's possible. But chances are they're alive somewhere.
Aww.
So, yeah, big fan of Pat Benatar. And has such a cool name. I think this is from her first marriage that lasted a short period of time. The guy's name was Benatar, and she kept that. Because I think her name is like a lengthy one. But Pat Benatar.
18 letters?
It sounds, I don't know, it sounds like a rock star. You say Pat Benatar, you think it's a rock star. So I've always been a fan of hers way back early 80s. Great singer. I love her style. Got that aggressive sound. I'm also a fan of Joan Jett. Talk about it on another video, but love Joan Jett. So that's it. 7 the hard way. And in the back they have a little what is that? Certificate of authenticity. So Pat Benatar, P.O. Box 86. I doubt that's still valid. This is an old album. I don't, So that's it. We're gonna go eat spaghetti. I know it's Monday, and usually we do spaghetti on Wednesdays, but this week we're doing it tonight on Monday. So, good night.